Tonight, Rex is upset and shirtless. There are some good things being offered on the streamers and some tasty tidbits in tonight's BizBuzz report. All that and a whole lot more for you as cinematic class is about to begin and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And tonight, before we get underway, depending on when you're watching this, I want to remind you about the Three Rivers Comic-Con. It's going to be held down at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center on June 1st and June 2nd. They went and sponsored the show, and we like to sponsor them as well. Like I tell you every year, I get about 80 to 90% of my Christmas shopping done at the Three Rivers Comic-Con. I'm sure this year will be no difference. We usually have a very, very good time there. So if you're watching the show before June 1st and 2nd, then definitely make sure that you stop by and say hello. I will definitely be there and be happy to see you. But if you're watching after the 1st or the 2nd, because this show is going to run for a while, well, then you missed a good show. What can I tell you? It is the Three Rivers Comic-Con, sponsored by New Dimension Comics. We did an exclusive interview with John Engel of New Dimension Comics, and if Dave has it, he'll put the URL up there for you. You can go on to the BP TV channel and access it and take a look at what's going on this year and how everything's going. All right, that said, let us get to tonight's show and the reviews. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought to myself, this has potential to be absolutely ridiculous in a Monty Python type way. Oh my God, folks, this movie is just silly. It's so silly that I think we need to turn the show over to its host. We need to go back to the early Cretaceous period. For the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic, Rex Reel.
Hundreds of Beavers is like a joke that goes on too long. It purloins cheesy cartoon animation from Monty Python's early days and supplements it with people in animal costumes looking like a furry convention. The movie stars Ryland Brixton Cole Hughes, who is also the writer. We fear 3 named people, and now Ryland is a 4-named person. He stars as a perplexed fur trapper who encounters a dystopian animal world. Mike Cheslick is director. He takes a movie which is a one-joke plot and stretches it to twice its necessary length. Hundreds of Beavers garnered numerous accolades at the indie film circuit.
This speaks to the lower intelligence of film festival goers. You know, my mother always told me if you can't say something nice about a movie, let Rex say it. Hey, I want to talk to you about a couple of things that are offered on streamers. I did it in the teaser saying that some of them were worthwhile. And it wasn't too long ago. I'm going to put the old specs on because I have names coming up here. It wasn't too long ago that I did my review on this show of Rebel Moon. And at that time, I claimed it was Zack Snyder's answer to George Lucas's Star Wars. Well, just a few months later, he has put out Part 2. And Part 2 of Rebel Moon is his answer to the Magnificent Seven. Now, not the progressive nonsense one that Denzel Washington offered, but the Yul Brynner original. And test your memory a little bit. Do you remember how many of the original 7 survived in that movie? You know, I also stated my thoughts in that first review about actress Sofia Boutella and her excelling as a Doug Jones type actress. And those comments also hold through this film as well. You know, at one time I thought Dina Meyer would be the quintessential female action star, but clearly Sophia has that mantle now, and she's holding on to it nicely. Atticus Noble is not dead. Now that's a surprise because Cora killed him at the conclusion of the first movie. But, you know, nobody ever dies in these movies, and gizmos bring them back to life. So now that he is resurrected, he plots his revenge on Cora and the people of Veld. Sophia is back as Cora. Ed Skrein returns as Atticus. And Djimon Hounsou is back as Titus. Originally, this was set as a 2-movie saga, and then it was over. But while both films were very harshly criticized by the condescending 2-letter city critics, the audience for them on Netflix was actually pretty good. And as such, these movies are now being planned as a series. So a special ending was added to this second movie so that the further adventures of Cora could be plotted. This one was written, directed, and shot by Zack Snyder, and it's apparent that he's having a blast doing this stuff. These movies wouldn't sell well in theaters. Everybody could see right away where the scenes are being purloined from, but they're fine for sitting at home and streaming.
Their nightmare is you and I fighting together.
You must know you cannot win.
You're all here because there is nothing to return to. Dark days lie ahead of us all. We will teach you how to fight. That's impressive.
The Scargivers among them. Those this village holds most dear. I shall destroy them.
I have no choice but to fight.
The Scargiver herself.
Go!
Are you truly prepared to allow this to continue in your name?
I'm sorry. I won't allow this place to die for me.
There are a couple of things you might want to know, and they're all in this edition of The Biz Buzz. They have given a green light to Happy Gilmore 2. Now, I got to tell you right off the bat, I never liked Adam Sandler. I think his best work is serving as a director for a Drew Carey game show. All right? Other than that, he doesn't excite me at all. But I did watch Happy Gilmore. That one I got a few laughs out of, and I kind of liked it. Normally his comedy is for, slackers, and it's just juvenile. But they're going to go ahead and do Happy Gilmore 2. I think there may be way too many years that have traveled between this one and the first one. I'm not holding my breath on this one. It was, speaking of years, 10 years ago this month that Gareth Edwards resurrected Godzilla and kicked off the Monsterverse, which is now, of course, a huge series of movies. Gareth Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, is now doing the same thing with Jurassic Park. Sir Paul McCartney has become Britain's first musician billionaire. And this happened because he did a tour, a small tour, but it was called the Got Back Tour of 23. And there have been actually a plethora of other artists who are doing covers of his songs, and that was enough money to put him over the $1 billion mark. Good, not bad, huh? And I got to report this, although I'm not real excited about it, I must tell you. There are 2 more movies planned in the Lord of the Rings saga. I'm actually done with that saga. I think those movies with Peter Jackson were laborious to get through. They were way too long. I know all the people who are, Lord of the Rings fanatics are pulling out their hair. But Peter Jackson won't direct these. He's going to produce them. Andy Serkis will be back to direct the movies, and he'll return as Gollum. So there you have it, what we look for in the Biz Buzz. This episode is really heavy into the streamers, and it's because, I've been watching an awful lot of these streaming things, and I've got to tell you that, and I've told you before in the past, that Korea provides an awful lot of limited series and limited run shows to a lot of these streamers. And there's one on Netflix now, which is based on an anime called Parasite the Grey. I got to tell you, I'm kind of enjoying this one. You could tell it's anime because the setup to it is almost, comic book-ish, if you will. But the story and what's going on isn't bad. I have one more episode to watch before I conclude it, but I've enjoyed it. And it's a tale of aliens that plan to overtake the Earth by turning humans into compliant hosts. But unfortunately for the aliens, the humans have discovered the plot. All right, here I go butchering some names for you. Led by Choi Jong-kyung, who is played by Lee Yong-hyun, it is a parasite hunting group called the Grey. Those are the hunters. And they are attempting to trap and contain all of the aliens before they can take over the Earth. One alien does not fully infect its host due to a series of events. Jeon Sun-un, who is played by Jeon So-ni, she is now a human, but she has these alien powers when she needs them. When it comes down to push and shove, though, which side will she be on?
그러니까요. 오늘만 강력범죄 3번째입니다.
어때 상태가? 아무 이상은 없다고 합니다. 아니 차에 받쳤다면서 무슨 소리?
몇 달 전 전 세계 전역에 이 기생생물의 유충이 인간의 머리를 빼앗아 버립니다.
이 안에 있는 기생생물이다. 너랑 내가 합치지 않았다면 둘 다 모두 죽었을 거야.
인간은 우리에 대한 연구를 하고 우리를 쫓고 우리를 학살하려 하고 있습니다.
정체가 뭐지? 섞여 있는 건가 인간과.
인간 흉내를 잘 내는다.
넌 우리에게 위협이다.
너네 아니나 밖이나 살벌하다 진짜. 서로 돕고 살자.
내일 새벽 해 뜨기 시작할 때 소탕 작전 돌입합시다.
너는 동족의 적이다.
넌 절대로 도망가지 않을 거야. 결국 너랑 나랑은 함께 살아갈 수밖에 없어.
And regular viewers of the show will know that I'm a big fan of Guy Ritchie. I love his stuff. He has an 8-episode series called The Gentleman that is worth watching. It's based on a culture clash when British aristocracy meets drug kingpins. It stars Theo James, Kea Scodelario, Jolie Richardson, and Vinnie Jones. It's filled with the quirky comedy and the Murphy Law conundrums that Ritchie is known for. Makes for a fun watch.
I didn't ask for any of this. The title has no practical value. The business is broken. There are holes in the roof. The staff are revolting, and you, brother, are a coke-sniffing.
Allow me to introduce myself. I used to be in business with your father. I have certain interests that I need to discuss with you.
Now, what happens down there?
Must have come as a bit of a shock. Inheriting a house, title.
As the new landlord, you will receive a significant amount of money in return for letting us carry out our activities.
You's like a duke in it.
What the?
People either survive in the jungle or exist in the zoo.
What do you think, John?
I think you should off back to your country house and wank off your spaniel.
I'm going to remove their interest from this estate.
I didn't create this problem. I'm trying to help you deal with it.
No one walks away. And it's down to you to keep him under manners. These are serious people. Although they appear to be house-trained, don't be deceived by the facade.
So in order to stop ourselves being associated with criminals, we are going to become criminals.
We're not criminals, Freddy.
welcome to the jungle.
Lapsang Su Chunk.
There's a lot more on Outtakes with Rex Reel when we continue right after this. Say the main sponsor of our show, of course, is the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge, and I have to tell you something about the Cigar Lounge that is coming up that you probably want to be part of. Ron Melendi is coming. Now you're going to sit there and say, well, who is Ron Melendi and why should I care? He is the rep for 1502 cigars. Now, I'll bet you as soon as I said 1502, a lot of you that enjoy fine cigars went, oh, I know who that is. Here's an example of a 1502 cigar. These are sweet, let me tell you. And he's going to be down at the Cigar Lounge on June the 6th from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on June 6th. You know, when Ron stops by there, he's always got, naturally, a bevy of cigars, and 1502 makes several different kinds. And he also brings a lot of good deals as well. So if you enjoy fine cigars like I do, then this is one time you're not going to want to miss it. It's June 6th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the House of Fairuza Cigar Lounge, located on the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. We'll see you there. Welcome back to the show. You know, I've said on the last couple of episodes that there are a lot of foreign movies that are turning out to be big hits here in the States, especially the films that are being offered from Korea and the Asian market. And I told you that one of the main reasons these films are going over so well with American audiences is that they do not put an agenda in them. I have to offer a little caveat on that. It's not that there aren't writers, producers, directors in those countries that haven't been infected with the woke illness. They certainly are there, and they certainly do make those types of movies there. As a general rule, those movies are not well received in their home countries. So those filmmakers look across the pond and they see, well, there's an awful lot of people who would go for this type of stuff in America. So they run these films up on these rather obscure film festivals, and then they bring them over here to the States, and they try to get them through to all of the very liberal, woke, you know, what they call now the awfuls, you know, the affluent white female liberals, okay? Such is the case with Amanda Nell Yu. Now, she entered film festivals with her movie Tiger Stripes, and she entered it all over the world because her home country of Malaysia booed this movie right out of the theaters. If she hadn't been so sanctimonious in this movie, she actually could have had a decent were-tiger horror flick, but she didn't want to go there. She had to go with the agenda, all right? Zafreen Zaril plays Zafin. Tiger Stripes is her story on how she comes to accept who she is. Folks, we got to do it one more time. We got to go back to the early Cretaceous and check in with Rex Reel.
Amanda Nell Yu takes the tales of monsters and demons from her native land and transforms them into misunderstood women. Camera work by Jimmy Gimferrer is poor and much looks like it was shot on an iPhone. Special effects by Sharon Chin is similar to kindergarten artwork, and editing by Carlo Francesco does not help the special effects. A tree climbing scene is badly misstaged, and then the footage is repeated 3 more times. This movie is for pink and blue-haired lesbians only.
Sekejap Okey, aku start 1, 2, 3 1, 2, 3, 4
Zafan! Hey, apa yang awak buat?
Mana kau dapat benda ni? Kau tengok. Satu. Weh, aku.
Kita kan dah janji kita kena share semua benda. Mana boleh simpan-simpan rasa? Mak! Semua orang dah tahu kot. Satu sekolah kecoh kau datang period.
Farah! Farah! Bagilah balik.
Hari tu, aku ingat bau bangkai mana. Rupanya tu bau dia.
Sial, kita ni patutlah bagi tahu dia.
Buat apa? Bukan dia tak ada hidung. Takkan tak boleh bau diri dia sendiri.
Aku benci dia orang.
Orang kata, Cikgu Aziza pun kena sekali. Siapa lagi ni orang yang kena rasa tu? Anas dengan kelas ke atas dah kena kunci. Benda tu ada lagi ke dalam tu.
Like I said, if you can't say something nice, give it to Rex. Hey, that's all the time we have for tonight's show. I do want to point out that Twitter is now officially X. So we had opened up, Rex and I had opened up an account on Twitter. It was twitter.com/RexReal. That is now x.com/RexReal. So they officially have gotten rid of the Twitter moniker, and it is now x.com/RexReal. And we'll see you there on Twitter. Look, I got to tell you something, folks. I'm going to take some time off. Normally, I take off August for vacation in the summer. We decided to do it a little earlier this year. So I'm going to say adios to all of you, and probably see you a little bit after Independence Day when that rolls along. And check it out then. You can still check with me online. I'll still be on there. But I think we're going to put the show on hiatus for just a while. So now that you have learned what you have learned, it's going to have to last you for a bit. But here endeth your lesson.